One day, a player is bored and finally decides to install that Fortnite game they have been hearing everyone talk about. All they have is their garbage laptop that their older brother begrudgingly passed down onto them after he got his PC, but they make do with it anyway. Once in the game, they quickly realize what they are up against. This is no ordinary shooter game. Everyone is moving in ways that they have never seen before with building. They are getting hit with all kinds of nonsensical items and they stand absolutely no chance. But despite that, they get a couple kills on some other bots anyway and realize the game is actually pretty fun. It has some potential and it's not like they have anything else to do, so they keep playing. The player is now a few days in, or maybe even a few weeks in, and they begin to discover the intricacies that make Fortnite truly unique. They see building for what it truly is, more than just throwing up a wall or two and they get shot at. The shooting mechanics become more apparent, with bloom being a big factor in how one plays. The game is a sharp contrast from the gloomy shooters video game players are used to. The graphics are bright and simplistic, but in a beautiful way. At this point, they are hooked and they know that they have found their new game. Now that the player is hooked onto Fortnite, they begin to play with their friends who have also been hooked. Each and every day after school, the group hops on to run squads, trying their best to get as many wins as possible, and while getting a win was few and far between, it didn't matter. The game was novel and it was some of the most fun the player has ever had. At this point, they are sinking a minimum of 6 hours on the game every day, just trying to level up their battle pass and accumulate wins. And when their friends weren't online, they played solos in order to get those illustrious solo wins everyone flexes on social media, and it is at this point they have an epiphany. The game is more than just a goofy shooter, and from this point on, the player vows to begin taking this game more seriously. Getting wins almost becomes a high at this stage, but in order to get more of those high moments, they need to get better. This is where players turn to creative mode in order to practice their mechanics in a more controlled environment. They sit in their own creative island for a bit, just trying to get better at basic building techniques such as ramp rushing and 90s. Also at this point, players will experiment with more editing, trying to speed up their window edits and maybe dabbling into some more advanced edits like corner edits. And with these newly developed skills, they hop into free-for-all maps just to try to use them against other players. The constant engagements one after another creates room for constant improvement. One engagement after another, they are learning from their mistakes. They begin to see what works and what doesn't work. Instead of placing singular walls to protect themselves, they now reflexively box up. And while all this is happening, the comp player gets a better feel for the weapons of the game. The weapons to avoid at all costs and the weapons that should always be picked up becomes apparent. It is at this stage where development of skill is most rapid and where the turning point in their Fortnite career is. At this point, the comp player has practiced so much that getting wins has become easier. Their progression as a player has rapidly outpaced their friends who are still all grinding their battle passes, and it is at this point where a rift between them and their friends opens up. All of their friends are still bad at the game and have no care for getting better. At this point, they are quitting the game or just flocking to zero build due to regular battle royale becoming too sweaty. But they don't see the problem. The comp player is the sweat. Regular pubs aren't a challenge for them anymore, so they play less and less with their friends and just start maining ranked mode instead. Their two goals at this stage are to get Unreal ranked and get better at the game. Each and every day they practice in creative mode, and it is at this point they pick up zone wars and box fight maps. It is at this point where cosmetics become completely irrelevant to them. They just wear the quote-unquote clean skins that everyone else wears, only use a set few minimalistic pickaxes, and never wear a back bling. During their time not playing the game, they watch YouTube videos on how to get better at the game. This is where players discover more popular tips and tricks creators like ItchJerrian and Jivin, and it is through these videos that they may get recommended videos from other Fortnite creators such as myself, so subscribe. No pressure though. But through constantly practicing their mechanics and creative, they learn the fundamentals of becoming a good player. Always take right hand peeks while making optimal edits, learn about the various box phasing techniques, greatly improve the speed of their building and editing, download an extraneous aim trainer to start to hone their aim, and so on. And if they haven't already, beg their parents to buy an overspec PC with a 4090 because their unemployed ass can't afford it. all of this just to see an imaginary rank go up. But then the player realizes the rank is just that, imaginary. There has to be more to this game than just a rank, so now they turn to tournaments. While most players at this stage have drastically improved, they have had no benchmark of their skill up until this point. Fortnite ranked is a joke, and for the most part, getting Unreal rank is not a matter of if, but a matter of when. So the player turns to tournaments, and luckily for them, Fortnite is one of the most open esports in all of gaming. On most days of the week, there are tournaments open to all players hosted, and seeing this, they queue up for their first ever tournament. Be it an FNCS or maybe a Cash Cup, it's something. But then they are quickly humbled as they die in every single game they play and don't even place high enough to be tracked on Fortnite Tracker. Despite that, the player still gains a little bit of PR, and that becomes their new goal: get better placements and get their PR up. And it is at this point Fortnite is the only game they play, but in order to keep playing they need teammates, but all of their friends quit the game, so they turn to other means to find like-minded individuals, and this is where they find scrim discords. At this stage, the player turns to the various scrim discords that exist in Fortnite, with the most popular being Vital and Noble. And it is at this point where not only is Fortnite the only game they play, but it is now their passion and thought of as a potential future. They do everything it takes to become a Fortnite pro. Now instead of wearing the same 5 sweat skins over and over again, they just permanently have the white superhero on. And it is at this point where one becomes pretty edgy and insufferable to be around. They live and breathe Fortnite. People at this stage begin to purchase those quote-unquote Fortnite kit peripherals like rapid trigger keyboards and the same 3 mice. It is likely that at this stage, they have fully adopted Fortnite competitive player vernacular. Everything is a full box 200 pump maxi flopper quad edit, and nobody outside of the Fortnite community takes them seriously anymore. But that doesn't matter. They have about 1000 PR, and they are just working their way up the ladder to become the next Peterbot. The player may have qualified to a couple Cash Cup finals, maybe even bagged a few Victory Cup wins when those were still a thing, but little do they know at this point, that is just the beginning of the end. At this point, the player has multiple thousands of PR, maybe even 5 figures PR, anywhere in the range of $0 to $5,000 earned, and is pretty damn good at the game. However, it seems that no matter how hard they try, they just can't break into that next level. They can't find any teammates that they enjoy playing with, solo placements are few and far between, and they constantly miss out on qualification for FNCS and other tournament finals. At this point, they become bitter and begin to look for excuses. My ping is too high, all my teammates suck, this meta sucks, and so on. None of their IRL friends have touched Fortnite in years, and they begin to realize how strange it is that they have been grinding Fortnite competitive for so long. Resentment for the game grows as they realize they aren't having fun anymore. This is where the distinction between Tier 1 pros and the other 99% is made. If you make it, then well done. For the others though, it is likely that they will have quit the game. Whether it be real life, getting too busy, or the ever-evolving landscape of competitive, becoming the best may not be the best for them. However, Fortnite is still enjoyable to them and they will still play the game every day, creative, ranked, and tournaments here and there just for fun. It is at this point they drop the cringe attitude of a typical competitive Fortnite player. Also at this stage, they will retire their superhero skin and opt for something with much more taste. And it is through all of these changes that they start enjoying themselves again. No more worrying about placements and no more concern finding teammates. And then there is the final stage of a competitive Fortnite player. At this point, they have already experienced everything the game has to offer. There is nothing new to do anymore. The player barely plays the game anymore at this point, only when it is to get on and play a tournament with the friends they made along their journey. Despite there being nothing to do for the player anymore, there is more content than ever to consume. The pro scene is still popping off, so it is at this point they just kick back and watch the game more than they actually play it, perhaps using the skills that they previously developed to get into coaching in order to grow the next generation of players that will inevitably follow their same route. And those are the 10 stages of a competitive Fortnite player, from a fresh install to an enlightened viewer. It is certainly a long journey with many highs and lows, but all that matters are the memories that are made along the way. If you enjoyed this video, then check out my second channel linked below, or the other videos on your screen now.